Hello everyone, this is the video recording for the FIT5225 Assignment 1. So I'm here to talk about the web servers part now. So the file I'm running, that's the program, is integration.py. This is running on a Flask server. I have got two methods out here. So it's a slash, the default method, which is of type get, and the other method is a post method with API /test1. The first method is used to describe what all APIs are available with this service. So I've listed out /test1 of type post as the response for this. So I'm using a Yolo, which is basically you only look once image detection library, which is very fast. So the associated, the trained names are there in Coco names, the weights and the configs, everything's are already in other files, and that's been loaded. The image that's been sent from the request is processed here, and then from the file that's decoded and resized and passed through the neural network. From the output, you get the object, and that's passed as JSON as a response. The program is running at port 8088 and binding the 0.0.0 interface. So the program is multi-threaded. This has been changed by setting the value true. So when it's enabled, the server can process more than one client request. If it is not enabled, it will only process the second request once the first request is completed. Now moving on to the next part, Docker file, approach to containerization, and okay. So I'm using Docker. So this is the Docker file, the config that I use to make the Docker. I'm using the Ubuntu base version, the latest version, installing the Python package. I have set /code as the working directory of my Docker image. I'm copying all the data, that is basically the weights, the code and everything from the /data1 path in my local machine to the /code path in the Docker container, and the requirements file txt file as well. I'm updating and installing these four necessary packages for OpenCV. And I'm installing the requirements, basically the Flask and the OpenCV packages. I'm exposing 8088 because that support my Flask server is listening. And then finally, I start my program, as in Python integration P5. So basically with this, at the end, after the Docker image has been built, the program server, Flask server, is running and listening at port 8088 on the Docker. List the cluster nodes. Okay. So this is the Nectar IP machine. Get nodes. Okay. Node/kind get nodes. So what did we say? think I got the command wrong. Okay, it seems I had a typing mistake, so that's the command to get the nodes. Now I have, as you can see, I have two nodes, a controller plane, which is basically the master node, the roles there, and the worker node. The status tells that it's both are running and they both have their separate IPs. Shows basically the images and the container details. Deployment YAML. Moving on to the deployment YAML. So basically I have three deployment files for three scenarios. Basically that's in replication factor 1, 2, and 3. So the most important thing here is two things. First is the image. So this is the unique identification of the image that is used for this deployment. So this corresponds to my Docker Hub would say the image repository. So whenever each time it is deployed, the image is fetched. The latest version of the image is always fetched. This ensures that all the fixes, everything, it's always up to date. And the container port, that is the container that is deployed, will be mapped into 8088. All requests will be mapped into 8088. The other most important thing is the replica factor. For this case, this is 1. So for my other experiments, I am putting the value as 2 and 3. Now moving on to the service for configuration. So basically I'm exposing a TCP, expecting a TCP request. The target intended on the port is 8088 and the port that is externally visible or open is 8080, and the node port refers to the port that is opened in the intermediate proxy level. So the doc. So basically once the Docker is built, the Docker is committed into, once the Docker has been successfully built, the Docker container, and using the commit command, we commit into the Docker Hub and where it stays. And when the kind cluster is made, we load the Docker Hub details into the cert deployment, which I showed previously, this one, and from that you fetch the image. Public IP security, okay. So this is my Nectar machine. My IP is 115.146.87.163. The network security group. I have opened one port 8080 because that's the port that I have exposed. So the notice that this is ingress, so that it allows all incoming requests. 8080. The other ones are other ports which I've opened are SSH, which is basically port 22 for logging into the machine, and I have also ICMP for checking ping. The other ones are 443 is for HTTPS SSL basic connections. 80 is the default HTTP port for all communications. For 3-port configuration, okay. Deployment is why working listing the nodes. So I'm in the Nectar remote node. kubectl get ports. can see I have 3 pods. Each one is in the running status. Due to some recent issue with my VM, it's not booting up. So I'm using the temporary VM. I haven't got anything installed. So what I'm planning to do is I have 2 APIs. So I can verify the communication part is true by using a curl, basic curl. I have a get method which is exposed and is directly callable. Just need the IP. Oh, sorry, this is this is my local machine. As you can see, this is different. Cool. Start the port 8080, that's the port response. Slash is the API call I've set. So I'm getting the response available API slash test1 slash of post type, which is basically the default API that I exposed for get. So with this, I'm proving that the communication is through. Because I can't run because of the dependencies, I'll be running it on this machine. So basically, 4 threads, okay. Python might have the previous request. I web. Okay, I do have it. Python I have a plant in progress. Instead of 16, I just need to have it for 4. You can see the requests are going. 4 requests. I'm starting to get the responses. I've another node already taken here. So kubectl get ports. Okay. Now okay, let's check the time. So for 1549, that's the current time on this node. So kubectl logs. So it's 1549. So the time was 1549. So I'm still getting the 200 requests successes. And for the other node. Again, as you can see, 1549 and 200, which is a success. And I'm still getting, just finished this, okay. Finished executing that. So I've shown this one as well. So that successfully, I think that's it for the steps. Right. Thank you, everyone.